Let's see what we got. Drake was right about DJ Khaled.
Now, how did we go from this?
Did the Drake vocals come in yet?
Khaled used to be all on Drake.
Did the Drake vocals come in yet? Did the Khaled vocals come in yet?
Drake shitted on that boy as soon as
now
he could.
Puts up Khaled. Khaled says, I have 2 Drake songs on my new album coming 2024. Remember, he crossed out at the beginning of the booklet. He crossed out 2024 is going to be my year, and he put 2026. Do we think Khaled's going to have another Drake song? I don't think so.
It's because what goes up must always come down, and that is the case with nearly every artist in music history. But what happens when an artist ascends to the top through a strategy that's not reliant on creative skill or talent, but instead banking on brokering bangers with the biggest names in music at any given time? How do you fall off when you have the hottest artist of the moment on speed dial throughout any and every era? T-Pain fell off? It's alright, you could just call up Future. Future's not answering? Alright, maybe send a text to Drake.
I don't know what to say. It's every waking moment that I'm alive. It's like you give someone everything you have and they're just like, another one, honey.
Drake's not giving you another one. Alright, then let's go bigger and better. Let's call up Rihanna. Rihanna's retired. Alright, let's try some new artists. Who's the hottest today? Well, the kids love Youngboy, no pun intended, and Post Malone, he's been on his country wave. Let's bring him back into hip-hop. Let's make him collab with Youngboy. This should be a massive moment, right?
I'll be by your side, do or die.
Another one.
I ain't never heard that.
No, absolute flop after flop. You want another one. Alright, Future and Lil Baby, that's a match made in heaven. Let's put them on a track together as if this is still 2022. You know, DJ Khaled had to turn off his Instagram comments due to people crapping on him for a multitude of different reasons, but he's got Jay-Z, one of the GOATs, on speed dial. Why not bring him into the studio and get his comments on your new single? The irony of a real artist having to fake a positive reaction to a fake artist's music. Or should I not say a fake artist? Is DJ Khaled a real artist? What does he even do? Why did you go from seeing him everywhere, from Nesquik commercials,
Nesquik, fuel for the bunny inside,
to #1 Billboard charting hits, year after year? But we've got to the point where Khaled is on his 3rd year teasing this new album. He hasn't released a new album in 4 years. This is the longest wait in between Khaled albums in his
if he do this weight journey thing right, and he lose all his weight like he been doing, then he can make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? With Young Jock doing right
career.
now.
How does an artist who only relies on the hottest artists
just like to see something change, you know what I'm saying? Like just to elevate, do something different. So,
in music at the time manage to fall off? Why do I keep calling DJ Khaled an artist? What does he even do? Well, in fact, at one point in his career, Khaled was actually very useful. And the reason he got to the position he's at right now is due to a very intense work ethic that he does deserve credit for. But in order to understand what DJ Khaled even does and why it's looking like the point of no return for his career in music, we gotta understand where Khaled came from. DJ Khaled was born in 1975 in New Orleans, but he was actually birthed by 2 parents who emigrated from Palestine.
A lot of people don't be knowing that boy really from New Orleans.
To New Orleans with just $20.
He rarely claim us because he always claim Florida, you know,
dollars in their pocket. To survive in America, the family sold clothes out of a van at local flea markets and eventually worked their way up to opening a small shop in a New Orleans mall, and DJ Khaled would sleep there, watching his parents work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Khaled reflects on his childhood saying, if I wanted to hang out with my mother and father, I had to hang out with them hustling. This is what shaped DJ Khaled's relentless work ethic. He's the busiest man who built a career off of no one knowing what he actually does. But he knew that whatever it is he actually does, it's what he's wanted to do since a kid. He told the Miami Times, I knew when I was a kid, this is what I wanted to do. There's nothing else that I wanted to do more than this.
Some people can't handle being great. I can.
As Khaled grew up, he left New Orleans with his family to start a new life in Orlando, Florida. Believe it or not,
they start falling off and start that money not coming in like it used to be, and you gotta start, you know, making life changes. You start seeing the real.
Actually started his music career as a real DJ. He worked with a small setup in his garage at the age of 13 and started building the foundation of his large physique.
And so, but if
you're curious.
Look, Odyssey
Meet
right
Avoto
there.
AI, the photo editing software
I
that
remember that
everyone's
shit.
talking about.
I don't remember him being in it, but I remember Odyssey.
Curious how DJ Khaled was always able to get massive stars on all of his albums while seemingly doing no work aside from saying "we the best."
let me know.
Working at Odyssey Records played a massive role in this. This was the mid-1990s, before Cash Money had signed their massive deal with Universal Records, but they
And
were
that's
on
where
fire
Wayne
in New
met
Orleans.
Baby at.
They were an independent record label that would send boxes of cassette tapes to the CD store, and DJ Khaled was the one unloading all these Cash Money cassettes onto the shelves. Birdman, the founder of Cash Money, would come in and hand Khaled a box of albums, and they would essentially sell out instantly. Khaled would get calls from record labels interested in signing Cash Money, and they would ask him, is it true? Are these albums really selling out as quickly as Birdman is saying they are?
Pull out his trunk a bunch of tapes, and he would come drop them off on the counter, and I would have to report him.
Damn, Wayne Hell was looking bad right here, but like recently, I think he got his shit fixed to where it look a little better than this. So I don't know if it's fake hair, if he took his own hair, put it up there, he did something, but
And
it
to
look a
your
little
man
better
Gary,
than
I
what
used
it
to
do
own
right now.
Odyssey. As soon as he dropped them off, I would call them like an hour later and be like, yo, everything's gone, sold out. All the record companies used to call. This before, I guess he had his deal. And the record companies used to call the record store, and I would pick up and be like, yo, is it really true that y'all selling that many tapes and CDs? I'm like, oh, nah, this shit real.
Little Wayne, way back then, when you want to buy a cassette, you go to Odyssey Records. What was Odyssey Records?
You go to Odyssey Records right in the Carlton Shopping Center, and you would, on a nice day, you'd find DJ Khaled in there DJing and selling
I
records.
shot at Juvie.
And Khaled wasn't just stocking shelves with CDs. He witnessed history while DJing at that record store. He saw the day that an 11-year-old Lil Wayne came through and met Birdman for the first time. This would be the day that led Lil Wayne to sign with Cash Money Records, and we know eventually Wayne would sue Cash Money, claiming they weren't paying him properly. But if payday ever feels too far away for you, Current is about to change that. Current is a banking app that's built
to show my homies in school that I'm telling every damn day that, nah, I got an album out. I'm really with Cash Money. Come with me on Thursday. Only reason why I'm gonna take you on that day is because I know he gonna be in there, the DJ dude. The DJ has
Let me do what I want in that bitch. Mike got my song.
And although
playing in
this
that
is when
joint.
things started to look up for Lil Wayne's career, this is when things would take a bad turn for DJ Khaled just a couple years into his career working at the record store. 1 month, Gary Hosenthal, sorry for mispronouncing that name, he's the owner of Odyssey Records, and he noticed something weird about these.
Damn, I'm about to say it's crazy because he looked like Gary Owens. Look like he could be Gary Owens' daddy or
For
some shit.
mispronouncing that name, he's the owner of Odyssey Records. And he noticed something weird about the store's phone bill. This is back in the day when they used to charge you for each phone call that you actually made. Gary said, I'm looking at all these calls, and I'm like, I never called these people. Someone had been using the office phone to contact record labels in New York, and Gary didn't know why. He knew it was one of his employees, but he decided not to make a fuss.
he got fired
but
for
to make
that?
sure it didn't happen again, he unplugged the phone in his back office and moved it to the front of the shop. Then a few weeks later, he dropped by the store, and when he walked in, he noticed the phone was missing from the front. DJ Khaled, who was supposed to be working at the counter, was also missing.
Spicy.
Gary walked into his office, and he saw DJ Khaled with his feet kicked up on the desk, yapping on the
Like
phone
he the
while he was
boss in
supposed to
that
be on the
bitch, huh?
job. He had been moving the phone to the back of the
That nigga's taking when the real boss lead, that nigga take over like he
store
the
when
boss
Gary
of the
wasn't
shop.
around. And this was the moment where he was forced to leave Odyssey Records. Gary says, I think that may have been how we ended our professional relationship. Nowadays, Gary, just like most of us, is kind of confused on what the once DJ ended up actually doing to achieve the amount of success that he now has. Speaking on Khaled's long come up from the Odyssey
Shit,
Records
don't
days, Gary
nobody
says,
know. We
I'm
still
proud to
don't
be
know.
a small part of whatever he is today. He pauses before asking, I don't even know what he is now. What's his deal?
Nigga, like, what do he do?
Come in yet?
After getting fired from Odyssey Records in New Orleans, Khaled's deal was taking the little money he had from working at the store, booking a flight back to Florida, and doing whatever he could to make it in music.
So
Just
he
like his
was
parents
living in
before
Florida
him,
too at the
Khaled
time, I
arrived
guess.
to Miami with not much more than $20 in his pocket, and he slept in motels, his girlfriend's car. This was back when he could fit in a car.
Those 3 Big Macs are for me.
And he'd sleep basically wherever he could. The radio scene in Miami was much bigger than New Orleans, so DJ Khaled did whatever he could to start DJing live on air and essentially kicking off his music career. In his first year, a lot of people turned him down, but eventually in the mid-90s, he met the producers Cool and Dre. They were DJing on Mix 96, which was a Caribbean pirate.
So was the Rick Ross situation his first real big situation? Because that was the first time they really knew about
radio
him.
Station. Khaled came up to Cool and Dre and said, "Hey, I just moved to Miami from Orlando, and I've been trying to get on the radio. Everyone keeps telling me no. I wonder if I can get some time on your slot." Now, this was before Cool and Dre would become the Grammy-nominated producer duo, and they were about to head on a trip to Atlanta for a big opportunity. So they let Khaled take a chunk of their radio airtime, and once they eventually left for Atlanta, Khaled ended up taking their whole slot. Cool and Dre said that when we got back to Miami 9 months later, Khaled had already taken over the city. When we came back to Miami, the first thing we did was turn on Mix 96, and all day long, it was just Khaled.
27-year-old who grew up all across the country hit the South Florida DJ scene on an underground station.
Khaled was sleeping at the radio station. Just like his parents hustling their clothes out of their car 24/7, Khaled used to hustle on the turntables, DJ until the early morning, pass out on the floor, wake up, and do it all again. Until he
now,
quickly
when you saying
became
DJing to the early morning, like is he DJing for a crowd? He getting paid for this? How you go to sleep and wake up like...
strong voice on Miami radio. His marathon sets led to club gigs and eventually a residency at Miami's Rockers Island, which was a Caribbean festival. During his near homeless hustle in Miami, somehow Khaled also ended up in New York at one point, and that's where he met Fat Joe in 1993. Joe was about to release his first album, and Khaled, I guess through being connected to record stores and radio stations, he had snagged a vinyl copy of the album before it was released. So when he saw Fat Joe, he asked him to sign the album and if he could rep Joe's label, Terror Squad.
When I met Khaled, he had the
vinyl
vinyl to
on
my
this
debut.
way until a nigga click, man. Look, I got your album, sign it bitch for me. Let me just let me rep y'all. I ain't even gotta sign no paperwork, just let me rep Terror Squad, and then I think that's he just to rep that bitch hard
Yo,
too.
Fat Joe, can you sign this? What the are you doing with the vinyl on my album? This was several weeks before Represent came out. I didn't even have a vinyl copy. He was the same charismatic DJ Khaled as you see today. I do my thing, he explained. I gotta get my Fat Joe early. Nobody's gonna stop me from winning. I'm out to win. I took such a liking to him. I kept in touch with him and we became friends.
I've been down with Fat Joe since his very first album. I met him at New Music Seminar in New York City. I had his vinyl, an album before it came out. He seen me with the vinyl in front of the hotel in New Music Seminar. He asked me how I got that. I was trying to explain to him like, yo, you know I got promo, like I get you early. He looking at me with the face sideways, like, so I'm like, yo, this man about to kill me. And we just end up kicking it. You'll come in my garage, I'll make beats.
Really, it was
Joe and Khaled stayed in contact, but Khaled kept
shit.
building more connections and growing his reputation as an actual DJ within Miami. Yes, at one point he really was a real DJ. By 1998, Luther Campbell, the frontman of 2 Live Crew, went to a party on Key Biscayne. It was an industry party for radio professionals, but Campbell says that DJ Khaled stood out immediately. He's frantically DJing, lowering the music to scream his classic catchphrases over the mic, bouncing off the walls and mixing Jamaican dancehall tracks with hip-hop bangers. Campbell recalls seeing Khaled do his signature shouting and said he had a mouthpiece on him, man. So much energy.
Did the track focus come in yet?
At the time, Campbell was in the process of building a team of DJs to help him host his own radio show, The Luke Show, on the Miami station 99 Jams. Campbell had already heard Khaled on the Caribbean Pirate Radio, but seeing him DJ that party in person, he immediately recognized the loud shouting voice over the mic and knew Khaled would be the perfect guy for his team. He said, it was energy. Imagine the Energizer Bunny. Now imagine that bunny is big and hairy with a knack for spinning vinyl. How could you not want that on your team? Initially, the higher-ups tried to kick Khaled off of the show. He was too loud, unpolished, and he was offering too many major keys. But Campbell told his bosses, if Khaled goes, I go. And through that, Campbell started coaching Khaled, specifically telling him, don't scream at the audience, scream with them. And with that advice and a new slot on a mainstream Miami radio station, Khaled started blowing up.
Loud as a motherfucker.
There's no question that DJ Khaled has been blowing up the spot, from clubs to video appearances to his work here at 99 Jams.
99 Jam Southwater's #1 hip hop and R&B is DJ Khaled, the Dawn Dada, Big Dog Pitbull, Terror Squad. There's DJs and there's DJ Khaled. There's
That
radio
nigga was repping Terror Squad and just met them people.
stations and there's 99 Jams. We are the #1 radio station in the world. 99 Jams. Let's go.
Going crazy on the radio gave Khaled his next big in. into the industry. While he came a long way from DJing at Odyssey Records, helping a 12-year-old Lil Wayne convince his friends that he was actually a real Cash Money rapper, Khaled was now breaking new music on one of the bigger Miami radio stations. So along with Fat Joe and Lil Wayne, he was building relationships with a bunch of different rappers in the industry who wanted Khaled to spin their new records on radio.
Khaled's always banging the newest joints. On this day, Rockefeller rapper Beanie Siegel stops in to show him some love.
Every time I come out, he show me love, man. That's why I had to bring them an exclusive first.
Khaled would actually end up having his own show on...
So this is just building up to how he got all his industry connections and is able to get all these people on songs. He met a lot of people on his way up. And, you know, they said when you good, the people on your way up, you know.
99 Jams for about 10 years till 2013. But as his industry connections and his name grew across Miami, Khaled wanted something bigger. He was basically Fat Joe's DJ by this point, repping his label Terror Squad, and one day he's at Dre's house, not Dr. Dre, but the producer, the one half of Cool and Dre, and remember, these are the guys who gave Khaled their first slot on Miami radio. And while he's at Dre's house, he pitches him the idea of putting together a mixtape, but they shot Khaled down immediately, saying, somebody out of nowhere said, mixtape? Man, nobody wants to hear a mixtape from you. Are you effing crazy? Stick to what you do. Play in the clubs, DJ on the radio. But Khaled didn't listen to them, and in March of 2005, he released his first project, a free mixtape called This Ain't a Movie, Dog. For the mixtape, Khaled called on his industry friends like Jadakiss, Fabulous, Fat Joe, and more, and you can hear Khaled yelling over a bunch of their tracks.
Yeah, so see, he had some good friends at that time. Shit,
laying the foundation for the first time we'd hear DJ Khaled do what we now know him for today. But back then, it was a bit more than just yelling over other people's songs. He was actually putting together this project like a real mixtape DJ, premiering new music, transitioning the tracklist from song to song. He even premiered Fat Joe's 50 Cent diss record, F50. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first time the world heard this diss song was on a DJ Khaled mixtape. And it's hilarious to hear a young DJ Khaled yelling over Fat Joe dissing 50 Cent.
The money man. What's up,
So if you guys didn't know,
that's all he do is just talk over people's track. Other people, he don't even produce it, or he don't make the beat or nothing. He just talk his shit over it.
After collaborating with 50's arch nemesis Ja Rule, Fat Joe ended up getting embroiled in a beef with 50. Joe, of course, was also the guy that gave Khaled some of his biggest looks early on, with Fat Joe actually recording one of his biggest songs, Lean Back, in DJ Khaled's garage.
You'll come in my garage, I make beats. You know what I'm saying? He recorded Lean Back in my studio, in my garage.
So with Khaled being Fat Joe's right-hand guy, he was obviously riding with him in this 50 beef, right? One day in 2005, 50's G-Unit artist Tony Yayo actually pulled up to 99 Jam's radio station to promote his new song, So Seductive. And of course, DJ Khaled was spinning there at the time. And due to his loyalty to Fat Joe, he actually refused to shake Tony Yayo's hand.
When you giving DJ Khaled a 5, and then what does he do?
DJ Khaled, look at my hand. DJ Khaled, get out of here. Nah, I can't believe it. So I'm like, yo, Khaled.
So now DJ Khaled is embroiled in this 50 Cent beef, and around the same time that Khaled was coming up in Miami, so was Rick Ross. So Fat Joe, DJ Khaled, and Ricky Rose formed the fire-spitting Fat Friend family. And Rick Ross later also had a beef with 50 Cent of his own, which DJ Khaled also inherited. And this led 50 Cent to get his guys to find out where DJ Khaled's mom worked, and to find DJ Khaled's house, film the entire thing, record a little poem about it, and post it online.
I see him at the BET Awards. That's funny. I remember seeing Khaled.
Y'all got this little poem I wrote for DJ Khaled. It's called, I Just Want to Tell You What a Psychic Told Me. Your car tires got stabbed out. Now you know, I know where you be. I just want to tell you what a psychic told me. I know where your mama house at. Now look, you can see. But I just want to tell you what a psychic told me.
That's crazy, gang.
I want my juice.
What the
Screw
hell?
your juice. I'm dead tired. Make it yourself if you want.
I thought that was Saucy Santana.
I know where your mama work at. Now look at her, sleep.
Damn. Nigga caught her at work, sleep.
I could do an entire video on the 50 Cent Rick Ross Fat Joe situation. Drop a comment if you want it. But with Khaled, after this first official mixtape, it was time for him to raise the bar. He was with one of the bigger rapper-owned collectives at the time with Terror Squad. He's got a massive radio show in Miami, and he just put out his first mixtape. So what's next? Believe it or not, before putting out an actual album of his own, Khaled actually flirted with the idea of becoming a real producer. He dabbled in beat making for a little bit, and with a very small production catalog, Khaled actually cooked up a couple
play one of the fucking tracks that
songs
he,
on Fat
made.
Joe's 2005 album, All or Nothing. He did the beat for the song Beat Novocaine, and that was actually a nickname that DJ Khaled went by.
Beat Novocaine. Go figure it. Joe Crack running New York. Who would have thunk it?
He also used to go by the name Arab Attack, but he changed that after 9/11. And this was around the time that he started going by his real name, Khaled, and he attached the DJ next to it because, of course, at the time we now know he was actually DJing. So just to put an end to the long-standing question that the entire world has probably asked themselves at one point in time, what does DJ Khaled actually do? Like I said, we now know he really was DJing on the radio and at some clubs in Miami. He had a very short career of producing some beats as well. And when you're asking yourself, what does DJ Khaled actually do with his albums? You could kind of think of him as like a mixtape DJ, sequencing his own projects together, right? And just yelling on top of them, structuring the whole track list, etc. And before actually releasing an official album of his own, DJ Khaled actually took on the role of a mixtape DJ for a short period of time. He reconnected with Lil Wayne for the first time in 2005 to host his underrated mixtape, The Suffix. And then he linked back up with Birdman and Lil Wayne to host their February 2006 collab mixtape, The Carter 2 Part 2, Like Father, Like Son. Then they returned the favor by hopping on DJ Khaled's debut album, Listen, the Album, in June of 2006. It was released under Fat Joe's label Terror Squad, and right from the beginning of his career of making albums, Khaled leveraged all of his industry connections to make sure he had every feature in the game on his first project. I mean, look at the credits of the intro alone. He had 24 artists on his first album, a 17-song project, and it actually spawned some hits. He gave us an old-school Kanye classic with the song Grammy Family, which also featured Consequence and John Legend, and Khaled's breakout single was called Holla At Me, which introduced a young Rick Ross to the game, while also featuring his boss, Fat Joe, and Lil Wayne. A now 24-year-old Lil Wayne, who of course came a long way from the 12-year-old that DJ Khaled knew when he was working in New Orleans at the Odyssey Records CD shop. And by this...
What a connection to have. You hear me? Lil Wayne grew up to be the biggest artist in the world, and that nigga could look back and be like, shit, I helped him, so yeah, the nigga owe me a favor.
Point going forward, DJ Khaled put the nightclub, radio, and mixtape DJing to the side and focused mainly on concocting his own albums. While you could make the argument that a lot of DJ Khaled albums feature songs that were simply throwaways from artists who weren't going to use those tracks on their own projects, some of Khaled's biggest songs were actually concocted with the intention of being real DJ Khaled songs, especially early on. For his big early hits, and in my opinion his best hits like We Taken Over, I'm So Hood, All I Do Is Win, Khaled actually took, and I hate to say it or compare him to this, but he adopted a Quincy Jones type role where he had a vision for an instrumental and he would gather the right artists to execute the type of subject matter or theme.
That's what he really was known for, knowing who he wanted on this track, for the track to have a certain sound and shit.
That he was going for that particular track. Look at All I Do Is Win, for example. This became not only one of DJ Khaled's most iconic songs, but one of the most iconic songs that celebrates victory in any capacity. This song was played at a walkout by former President Obama.
Thank you, everybody.
You could hear it in pretty much any mainstream commercial that tries to sell you some motivational BS. But that song wasn't just a throwaway that was gifted to Khaled. It was Khaled himself who laid the groundwork for the vision of that song. He had the beat, and T-Pain wasn't working at the speed or urgency that Khaled felt necessary to align with the anthemic essence that he was going for. So he told T-Pain to stay in the studio. T-Pain said, but I was about to go leave and get dinner. So Khaled said, wherever you were going to go eat, I'll order it here. So T-Pain had Khaled order a bunch of lobster to the studio, and they got to work. Khaled still wasn't satisfied with the lyrics, and he told T-Pain the song isn't about wanting to win or needing to win, it's that all you do is win. He essentially fed T-Pain the actual foundation of the track, and T-Pain put the pieces together with his melodies.
DJ Khaled was like, look man, I got a beat, I really like this beat, I need a hook on it. I was like, man, I was just about to go eat. Can we do this tomorrow, next week or something like that? He was like, where were you gonna eat? I'll bring it here. I'll have them bring enough for 10 people in the studio. I was gonna get like Checkers or something, but I was like, man, I was gonna get this lobster and this steak. And sure enough, had people bringing in trays of lobster and steak.
The way me and Payne make records, he always wants me to give him my vibe, my talk. Like, what you about right now? And I just kept telling Payne, man, we gotta win, man. So, you know, he goes in there and he just goes, all I do is win, win. I'm not lying. Every time we have a conversation, I record. And he just keeps going.
Was it really just him kind of badgering you like, yo, we got to win, I got to turn my album
Oh, it was
in?
a lot of that. And I was like, give me the talk. He did all that. We got to win. And then I started doing it. All I do is win. The things I was thinking of and the things I was saying back to him, he kept saying, nah, that's not big. That's not big. And I'm like, okay, well, what about I want to win? And it's like, nah, that's not it. What about I'm trying to win? No, that's not it. Well, goddamn, Khaled, I guess all I do, all I hit the goddamn record button.
When we make records, I always come up with like words. Like when we make Go Hard, like or Out Here Grinding, or I'm So Hood, like it's just I would come up with like a one word, like win. You don't write, you just go in the booth and I have that button that you push to talk back and forth. That's why I respect like a Quincy Jones. It's who you could put in a room together. You kind of almost have to orchestrate a situation and have a vision and a dream.
But it wasn't just All I Do Is
that
Win.
is
All
it,
T-Pain
it
was
takes a
doing
certain
was
talent
helping
and a
DJ
certain vision
Khaled
to do
win.
that. And
And if I end up titling this video something along the lines of Drake was right about DJ Khaled, it's because T-Pain should have followed what Drake just did 20 years ago. I studied what Drake just did for a living. Drake effectively cut Khaled off. He stopped giving Khaled his throwaways, he stopped writing hooks for Khaled, and because of Khaled's lack of loyalty or failure to pick a side and appreciate...
You would think, cause Khaled was loyal to Drake for a while. It just when the battle came with him and Kendrick, it's like Khaled was nowhere to be found. That nigga ain't say a word. He ain't say the Drake vocals coming in or nothing. He waited till the beef was over, the smoke cleared, and then he was like, I got 2 Drake songs, 2 Drake feet, and Drake like, what, nigga?
You know, the breadwinners in his little system of pumping out hits left and right. His career, it's at the lowest point it's arguably ever been. But we'll touch on that later in this video. Let's focus on DJ Khaled's original Drake for a second, T-Pain. Huh? You might be saying, oh, Rapaholics, it's so rude to call T-Pain the original Drake. It makes him sound so disposable, right? But the reality is, this is how DJ Khaled was treating all of these hit makers. DJ Khaled's first album did alright, but it was nothing crazy. It was that second album that made him more of a force to be reckoned with massive hits like We Taken Over and I'm So Hood. 2 songs that T-Pain was involved in the writing process for. Then DJ Khaled's third album comes around, and the 2 hits off that project, both the hooks for those songs were also written by T-Pain, Out Here Grinding and Go Hard. Then Khaled's fourth album comes around in 2010, and that's when T-Pain gives him his biggest hit of his career, All I Do Is Win. So you see how with every single Khaled project up until 2010, T-Pain is either the one on the hooks for all of DJ Khaled's hit songs, or at the very least, he's the one writing the hooks. But after striking gold,
once Pain fell off, Khaled fell off right on with him.
All I Do Is Win, 2011 comes around, and I could be wrong, but I think you literally do not see T-Pain on any single DJ Khaled album after that point. I wonder why. Well, there's a factual reason that we'll get to shortly.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think T-Pain went off on Khaled.
But for now, all you need to know is that years after the success of All I Do Is Win, DJ Khaled in interviews says that he would love to do more records with T-Pain.
What's your biggest record to date, you think it is?
You know you got records like All I Do Is Win. You know that record, right?
Yes.
All I Do Is Win. I'm on one.
Wait, hold on. You said All I Do Is Win and I'm So Hood. You and T-Pain made so much great collaborations.
I love T-Pain.
Why y'all ain't working together no more?
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down to work with him.
That's fine, yeah.
I'm definitely down to work with him. I love T-Pain. What we made together is nobody can ever duplicate that ever in life.
And if you thought I was exaggerating with the responsibility or the role that T-Pain had in the success of DJ Khaled's career as an actual album artist, Khaled admits it himself, that 90% of the hit singles that DJ Khaled put out in the 2000s decade, they were all, again, either written or performed by T-Pain himself. It's kind of crazy that when you break it down, T-Pain was basically responsible for the entirety of this guy's success on the charts.
I'm So Hood, Go Hard, All I Do Is Win. He wrote Out Here Grinding.
And we taking over too, right?
No, we taking over. That's not Akon.
Yeah. Well, I think he wrote the hook though.
Oh, I don't know if he wrote that one. I wasn't in. That's that's their business.
Right.
You're saying, but as far as Out Here Grinding, I know he wrote that.
If it's on your album, you should know the credits and shit. You know who really wrote it because you got to put the credits on there
for Akon to sing. But there's so many. He's so talented. His melody game. He's from Florida. What we've done together is unbelievable. I'm forever got love for T-Pain.
Now you might be saying to yourself, it seems like DJ Khaled is very thankful, very appreciative for all that T-Pain has done for him, right? That's what Khaled wants you to think in 2025 when he's doing interviews. But when we look at T-Pain doing interviews in 2025, well, this is how he feels about DJ Khaled.
Nobody is your brother. I've had DJ Khaled and everybody done told me I'm your brother. Do not believe that shit.
Lord have mercy.
Man,
you know you're going to get me in trouble, man.
When I say shit like DJ Khaled, it's very apparent.
Yeah.
Like DJ Khaled knows how to move. He knows how to do things with different people and shit like that. But it's like, it's not a DJ Khaled type of thing. That's just the first person I can think of. But
now you could make the argument that DJ Khaled is a tastemaker for what's hot in the industry, right? And technically it's his job to find what is working at that time and make magic with it. And so because T-Pain's popularity declined after 2010, it didn't make sense for Khaled to continue collaborating with him. Maybe this was just
basically you was using Pain. As long as he was up and he was on top, they gonna use him. As soon as T-Pain, I think it was Death for Auto-Tune or some shit, fucked his whole little career up. So once he started going down, Khaled like, shit, I'm on to the next one. I ain't even about to call you no more.
Business decision, but I think there was a deeper reason behind it.
Spicy.
See, at this point in 2010, DJ Khaled is 4 years into a successful career as technically what you could call a solo artist. And aside from T-Pain, he also had a slew of hits with Lil Wayne. So it only made sense for Khaled to bring things full circle. Because he was once stacking shelves with Cash Money CDs, witnessing Lil Wayne at 11 years old signed to the record label. It was now Khaled's turn to become a Cash Money member and sign Birdman's dotted line.
Khaled had already signed this contract. We did a publishing deal, we did a record deal, we did a merch deal, and we did a book deal. You understand me?
Around the same time, a young Lobby Drake Gaveling Graham would also sign under Lil Wayne to Young Money Records. And now instead of Khaled badgering T-Pain or Akon for hooks, Drake quickly became the go-to hook guy. Lil Wayne did say in 2009 that we're going to be all right if we put Drake on every hook. And in Khaled's case, that couldn't be closer to the truth.
Did the Drake folks come in yet?
Fresh off of signing his Cash Money contract, Drake gifted DJ Khaled his highest chart-topping hit at the time with I'm On One. And while in my opinion this is one of the best DJ Khaled posse cuts, this is also when we started seeing Khaled adopt the formula of simply leveraging his connections with the biggest artists in the game to take their throwaway songs and just label them as his own. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm On One was initially just a Drake hook and a verse that was meant to be on Lil Wayne's album The Carter 4. That's why you heard Lil Wayne spit a verse at the end of that song. DJ Khaled was close friends with Rick Ross and they collaborated on pretty much every big DJ Khaled single, so it made sense that Khaled also put Rick Ross on I'm On One.
Me and Drake working on a record together, and there's two other artists I'm putting on the record as well. Yeah, trust me, straight superstars. But boy, do we have them here. You see, I went and bought a bottle of rosé. We about to go talk to Drake, odd chat style, because he gave me a snippet over the phone. I lost my mind. I just left Ross, and he's like, Khaled, he sent that shit. I say he sent it, Ross. This going down in history. Because when this go number one, I'm gonna tell the story. You know, Lil Wayne on Twitter said, patience is a talent. He ain't lying, boy.
Apologize if I say.
This shit's so big, it's called I'm On One. He looked at my face, I swear I almost had tears in my eyes. I ain't gonna sit there and lie to you, Drake. Nah, thank you, man.
Yo, listen, I think the most powerful thing is when people download it, it's gonna say DJ Khaled featuring Drake, Wayne, and Ross.
No,
I think you say DJ Khaled.
I know when the record blows, when I hit them stages, you know, because we always in the same places a lot of times. I just want to be out there and it's get them off. Like,
right.
And I would argue that up to this point, this was the least amount of effort DJ Khaled ever put into one of his own singles. Songs like We Taking Over, I'm So Hood, All I Do Is Win, these were songs that Khaled built from the ground up. He'd hear an instrumental, he would have a vision for the theme or the subject matter of the song, he would bring in either T-Pain or Akon to lay the hook, and then he would go all around to all his rapper friends in the industry, playing them the beat, and if they liked it and caught a vibe, then they would spit a verse on the record. He was playing more of an executive producer slash like puppeteer type of role where each song fit his own vision and was concocted under his umbrella. But now he just got his biggest hit ever with I'm On One, which was simply a Drake throwaway song that didn't make it onto the Carter 4. Khaled didn't make the beat, he didn't feed Drake the subject matter, he barely had any innovative ideas of other artists to bring on the song, right? Lil Wayne was already supposed to be on it. This song was basically just gifted to Khaled, right? And DJ Khaled now being signed to Cash Money meant that he can receive all of the Drake and Lil Wayne features that his heart desired. So what's the point in doing all the work yourself when you're sharing a label with the biggest rappers in the game? Just take the songs that they don't end up using on their albums and put them on yours. Though. Well, that formula didn't necessarily work for long. See, Khaled caught the occasional mild hit with songs like Take It to the Head with Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross, or when he tried to recreate the magic of I'm On One.
And then they skipped over the whole Ace Hood phase. He had a lot of hits with Ace Hood.
2013 song No New Friends featuring Drake, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne. But do you notice a pattern here? There was no longer diversity with the artists on these songs. The play was now get a hook, typically from Drake, put Rick Ross on the song and some other Cash Money artists, typically Lil Wayne or Nicki Minaj, and then just pray for the best. Now, this became stale pretty quick, and it was obvious by the dip in DJ Khaled's album sales, with each one now selling less and less ever since he signed to Cash Money. But I do have to give Khaled credit in that he had two legendary collaborations in 2012. One of them being, in my opinion, his best song called Hip Hop with Nas and Scarface, and another great collaboration with Big Crit, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. But by 2015, the days of DJ Khaled having a hit every single year were far gone. Drake was proving that there was no need for mixtape DJs anymore, dropping If You're Reading This Is Too Late straight to iTunes, where fans were now forced to actually buy mixtapes instead of getting them for free on sites like DatPiff. And the big posse cuts that DJ Khaled was known for, that formula now worked better when artists decided to create the posse cuts themselves. Look at Big Sean, Kendrick, and Jay Electronica's Control song, or A$AP Rocky's song One Train, or Freddie Gibbs' Pinata, or even Young Money's own
y'all
posse
could have been
cuts.
doing it though. Y'all, what changed?
It's like Only with Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and Drake, or Truffle Butter with Nicki, Drake, and Lil Wayne. Even his label mates were now showing Khaled there was no longer a need for him. There were also other very indirect threats to DJ Khaled. For one, there was now a new DJ in hip-hop who was more famous for internet antics rather than actually DJing, and that was none other than DJ Big Macus Academics. Aside from resembling DJ Khaled in stature and appearance, Academics also mirrored Khaled's trajectory in the sense that he got his footing into music by actually DJing, then he hosted radio shows, then he took his talents to YouTube, where he amassed a following through vile commentary. DJ Khaled was no longer the most viral DJ that didn't actually DJ. That was Academics.
Those 3 Big Macs are for me.
And on the music side of things, real producers like Metro Boomin started taking Khaled's blueprint of making projects of their own with artists where they would not only executive produce the tracklist like DJ Khaled had been doing, but Metro would make his own beats, and his catchphrases and production tags were a lot more iconic than DJ Khaled's. Think about the Drake and Future collab tape What a Time to Be Alive, which was solely produced by Metro and Southside. Then think of all the times in 2015 and
I feel like it's better when you making the beat and you doing the shit that Khaled was doing, structuring this in, who won't be on this song, but you making the beat too, so that
2016 where you heard the tag, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you, or Metro Boomin wants some more, or we got London on the track, or another large DJ, Mustard on the beat.
Mustard.
All of these guys were active, real DJs or real producers who started taking Khaled's formula of having their own tags, making their own albums with track lists featuring tons of their rapper friends. But unlike Khaled, these producers had a signature sound that they were known for, and their albums were much stronger, considering the fact that artists like Mustard and Metro actually made their own beats and concocted cohesive track lists for their projects. Now you might be saying, but Rapaholics, didn't you say DJ Khaled was an actual producer? Like, what does he actually do? Well, after Khaled caught his first few hits, he pretty much gave up on beat making.
Huh?
Later in his career, you would only see him end up as a producer on his own albums, but considering the fact that he gave his son and even Allah credits as being executive producers on his later albums, I think it's fair to say that Khaled uses the term producer pretty loosely, and he would just credit himself as a producer on his albums because he could get away with it and he could collect some extra royalties. So by 2015, with Khaled's success dying down and his formula becoming repetitive, he actually left Cash Money Records. It was around the same time that Lil Wayne also left the label.
Like he just blew in that child's face.
So by 2015, with Khaled's success dying down and his formula becoming repetitive, he actually left Cash Money Records. It was around the same time that Lil Wayne also left the label, and Rick Ross had put out a diss song against the Cash Money founder Birdman, claiming that he ripped off not just Lil Wayne, but also didn't pay Khaled what he was owed. In the song, Rick Ross says, "What hurt me the most is how you did my brother Khaled. Khaled was loyal to you. The pain I seen in my brother's eyes, FaceTiming, he took that stuff to the chin. That's why he's blessed. That's why my guy Khaled is blessed. You put my guy in the hole."
None of that shit.
And in interviews, he implied that Khaled was actually going broke at the time that he was leaving Cash Money Records and was never properly compensated for all the work and all the albums he put out on the label. And this really marked a pivotal time in Khaled's career. After all those Drake throwaways that Khaled put on his album, he wasn't properly compensated by Cash Money, and he wasn't left with much cash money of his own to continue his music career, which was now slowly dying. But Khaled had something that no DJ, no producer like Mustard or Metro, no one had. He had an insane character. The same charisma and foolish personality that drew in Fat Joe in the early 90s and got him a placement on the 99 Jams radio station in the late 90s would now serve DJ Khaled a whole new, revitalized, larger purpose. A revitalization that saved his whole career. And not just saved his career, but brought it to heights that he had never seen before. And the crazy part is, this was all unintentional.
Some people can't handle being great. I can. Original shot you.
He started posting on Snapchat and shit. Personalities started taking off.
Respect Mother Nature. Respect your mother. Coconut water. Walk with me through the pathway of more success. Lion!
With a lot of free time on his hands as he looked for a new record label, DJ Khaled documented his everyday life onto the social media platform Snapchat. From getting lost in the middle of the Miami Ocean on his jet ski, to eating food 24/7, to giving his followers a daily dose of motivation, DJ Khaled would end up going viral as the first influencer to draw people in on social media, not for any talent in particular, but for his hilarious personality, his hijinks, and his cartoon-like confidence and catchphrases. He became the most followed person on Snapchat, and I don't think he only saved his own career, but I think he also saved the entire Snapchat platform. Because this was long before the days of Instagram comedians like Drewski, and back when this was going down in 2016, the idea of a TikTok or Instagram influencer wasn't fully formed yet. But fans knew that if they wanted to get a glimpse of what Khaled was doing, they had to find it on Snapchat. So Snapchat and DJ Khaled's numbers started climbing astronomically, and the former DJ quickly became a caricature of his former self. It wasn't about dropping the hottest record anymore, it was about coming up with the most hilarious, outlandish, motivational catchphrases that could keep his new Snapchat fans engaged.
Became a content creator. One of the first, I know.
There's a lot of days in the gym, so I refuse to give the A my energy. Big up Mother Nature for watering my plants with the rain. Lion! Make sure you respect your mother. Hey, yo, Daniel, happy birthday.
He received his first Billboard #1 song and Diamond song with the Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne, Quavo, Chance the Rapper collab, I'm the One, in 2017. Drake and the OVO team would also give Khaled even more tracks that he could yell over, like his biggest hit, Wild Thoughts, that was written by the OVO artist Party Next Door, and another song that was meant to be a massive single for Khaled, but ended up being...
Why would Drake give him that, though? Wild Thoughts? That was a big one. Or was it Khaled who put the play together?
A flop, with the song To The Max featuring Drake. Now, this song has an interesting story behind it because Drake was already able to tell that the song was lackluster and that it wouldn't go on to become a massive hit, so he didn't want the song to get released, but DJ Khaled begged him for it. And according to academics,
those 3 Big Macs are for me.
According to academics, Drake reluctantly gave him the song, but forced Khaled to give him the majority of the royalties and profits for the record.
You remember that song called To The Max? Drake said no 55 times. You said you needed the song. Drake said, whatever you need. They came back business-wise that Drake owns 95% of this publishing because they didn't want the song out at the time. Drake was putting out hot other songs. He didn't want the song out. He didn't think it was in line with what
That
he
song
was
was
doing.
trash.
But
I felt like it was off beat a little bit.
throwing alley-oops.
So now instead of Khaled's formula of taking a Drake throwaway song and adding Rick Ross
I
and
think
Lil
was
Wayne
their
to the
last
mix,
song, huh?
he
Their
cut
last
off the
collaboration.
fluff. The approach got simpler and lazier. He basically just released throwaway Drake songs as his own singles, and it became more and more obvious that DJ Khaled did absolutely nothing on these songs except for yell, because break some of these songs down,
it's
right?
doing something,
The song
though.
Pop Star by
That's what
Drake,
DJs
it's
do.
not
They just
produced
yell
by
on the
Khaled.
track.
Drake doesn't mention DJ Khaled in the lyrics. The messaging has nothing to do with Khaled. Khaled didn't bring in extra artists to do other verses on the song. The same thing with the song Grease or Staying Alive to the Max for free. It was blatantly obvious that these started off as just Drake songs that didn't make Drake's own albums, and Khaled would beg Drake for them because he knew that anything
Khaled
with
was like, if you don't want this shit, I can use it. Especially if you talking like you ain't
Fix
gonna
name
never
on
put
it.
it out. He like, shit, let me do something with it. Let me I put somebody on it and but then if that's the case, fuck, if Drake ain't want him to begin with, he ain't gonna want you to put it out. Fuck.
would hit the charts. And with each
That's
new
his throwaway
album,
shit that
Khaled
he
would
want
just
to
rinse
stay in
and
the
repeat.
trash.
Embarrassing.
And this formula did
Drake's
work
so
for a
fucking
bit,
corny.
with Khaled not only being known for using Drake's throwaways as his lead singles, but also glazing everything that Drake does. Talking about Drake like he's some
Khaled
sort of
really start fixing his health, boy. Cause you seen them other videos, that nigga shit was thin as a mud. Now he started getting a little darker, a little thicker.
mythical royal figure
What
that
are you
Khaled
using?
worships. And the meme went from they don't want you to win or these are the keys to success, and it transformed into I like what Drake like, or did the Drake vocals come in yet?
Did the Drake vocals get here yet? Did the Drake vocals get here yet? Did the Drake vocals get here
Yeah,
yet?
that's big. That's trying not to call Drake and ask him, is it ready? So I'm gonna just go online and keep on saying this so Drake can see it, and then hopefully he send them bitches over ASAP. But really, Drake wasn't fucking with it. Probably wasn't trying to send you nothing. Didn't send it, but you doing that to try to get his attention.
Drake vocals get
Nigga
here?
like, well, I hear you, but
They're in. Oh my God, they're here.
Stay tuned.
I like
they came
what
in.
Drake
So
like.
they in.
I like what Drake like. Find out what he likes for breakfast. I like what Drake likes.
That's
I like what
that's
Drake
me riding
likes.
to the max.
I
And
like
damn, that boy was
what
super
Drake
big.
like. I like what Drake like.
You want to go to Noah's Ark, right?
I want to go where Drake
nigga
goes.
looking like a
Noah's Ark.
Wherever
pillowcase.
Drake goes, I want to go. I want to go where Drake goes. Is this where Drake goes?
Did the Drake vocals come in yet? Did the Drake vocals get here yet?
Hey, yo, Khaled, did Drake vocals get here yet?
It's top secret, my brother. The Drake vocals are in.
Another album at number 1, but fans had a different plan. A couple weeks before the album's release date, Tyler, the Creator, had announced that his upcoming project, Igor, would release on the same day.
I remember that he went number 1 over Khaled, and Khaled was mad and started hating.
As DJ Khaled's album. But unlike Khaled, Tyler didn't wait over a year to drop the project after announcing it to the world. Igor was Tyler's biggest album to date, launching him into another stratosphere of stardom. And with that, it went number 1 on the charts. After 20 features, a year-and-a-half album rollout, and an energy drink bundle, everything came crumbling down for DJ Khaled when he landed at number 2 on the charts that week.
When you big like
Billboard
that, you
had
gotta wear all
disqualified the
button
sales
down
of his
shirts.
energy drink,
You look a
claiming
certain
that
way.
if you're paying $1 for a beverage, it has nothing to do with a DJ Khaled album, even if it came for free with the drink. And it wouldn't be fair to count that as an actual album sale. Khaled now, the once holly jolly, always positive Snapchat smiler, was furious. When he found out he hit number 2 on the charts and lost to Tyler, he allegedly stormed into his record label's office and even threatened to sue Billboard for not counting his album sales properly. But that was behind the scenes. Meanwhile, to the public, he did what he normally does on a day-to-day. He got on Snapchat and talked to his fans. But this time, it wasn't so positive. It was the day after the album sales came out, and Khaled, without saying any names, was talking about how he makes music that could be played anywhere, while also implying that he does not endorse mysterious music that couldn't be heard.
I make albums so people can play it.
Music.
You actually hear it. You know, driving your car, you hear another car playing it. You know, go to the barbershop, you hear them playing it. You know, turn the radio on, you hear them playing it. You know, it's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit. You never hear it.
Now, this was obviously a dig at Tyler, the Creator, who, unlike DJ
But now I do
Khaled,
feel what he's saying though, cause like nigga, like in the streets and places you go day to day, you don't hear no nigga bumping no Tyler, the Creator, and they talking about this shit #1. I did like the little song though, but like you don't hear that shit like that.
Had taken the high road. He refused to clown DJ Khaled or engage in a public beef. Instead, once the high road, he refused to clown
the diamond shaped as a heart.
DJ Khaled or engage in a public beef. Instead, months later, he said in an interview that he let the success of that #1 album speak for itself.
He wasn't wrong. I'm not in the barber shop. I'm not at the club. I'm not,
I just say that too. He wasn't wrong.
I'm not in the back of the Maybach. But I didn't say nothing. I just let that #1 speak. The ego had to deal with that because his whole identity is being #1. When he didn't get that, that sat with him longer than that moment because his whole identity is we the best.
He couldn't say another one. Yeah, he had to say2. Like he couldn't say another
He
one.
the
That's
number
what
one.
it was. That's what the
underdog
madness.
to him.
If it would have won #1, he would have been able to say another one. But he can't say that.
Took that away from him.
Like Tyler said, that's his
Ego was
identity.
deflated.
And just
Nah, that's
like
a
that,
fact.
DJ Khaled's facade of being a holly jolly, happy-go-lucky, motivational, always positive public persona
We knew he was a hater now.
Vanished. It's easy to fake a smile when everything is going your way, but faced with the slightest bit of adversity or failure, and you start whining and crying and tearing down other artists, nonetheless, artists who actually produce and write everything by themselves, this completely destroyed the public perception of DJ Khaled. And it showed that the very personality and behavior that took him from nearly bankrupt DJ to global superstar influencer was all fake. It was all a charade. And meanwhile, DJ Khaled got caught in an even bigger charade when him and Floyd Mayweather promoted Centratech's crypto, which raised $32 million by falsely claiming partnerships with Visa and MasterCard. Floyd Mayweather allegedly received $300,000 and DJ Khaled received $50,000 to promote the coin on social media without disclosing that they got paid to promote it. This violates securities laws, so the SEC had charged them with a combined total of almost $800,000 in fines. Khaled paid $152,000 and was banned from promoting any sort of security for the next 2 key overly positive personality that wasn't even genuine. So DJ Khaled decided, like he had many times in the past, to double on what worked, which was 2 things. Number 1, on the music side, was begging Drake for a song that Drake wasn't going to use for his own album, and Khaled taking it for his album. That had been working for years, and the first time he stopped doing that was on an album that ended up going number 2 to Tyler, the Creator. So from this point going forward, anytime Khaled needed a hit, he just used an old Drake song.
I don't know what to say. It's every waking moment
This a
that I'm
fire
alive.
chain.
It's
I
like
never
you
seen
give
this one.
someone everything you have,
OVO
and they're
joint,
just like,
that's fire.
another one, every 5 seconds on my phone, asking me for something.
Yo, Drake,
That
you're not
sounded
picking up your phone. You're not answering my text. You're not picking up FaceTime. Yo, bro, it's me. It's me. Pick up your phone, man.
And not that nigga begging. It's me, man. Come on, gang. Boy, this fucking weather.
In my text. You're not picking up FaceTime. Yo, bro, it's me. It's me. Pick up your phone, man. Let's shoot this video for Greece, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be legendary.
On the social media side, again, DJ Khaled was always known for his goofy personality. And while the overly positive aspect of that personality was likely a facade, it's not hard to fake acting like a goofball, and being a goofball actually always did seem like a genuine aspect of. On the social media side, he essentially doubled down on being a clown.
This is called what?
Nigga said just do it to the max now.
This is called what?
He said I ain't getting no Drake vocals. Fuck, let me go back to social media. Let me go back to what's working.
And what is this? And perhaps what is this?
Water.
Sunday morning, Sunday brunch, Sunday breakfast.
Call me asparagus. Tell him to bring out the lobster. Tell him to bring out the lobster.
Nigga had to stop using Drake name and everything.
Light. There's roadblocks. Shrimp, what?
Shrimp shumai.
Have you ever played rugby? Roses are red. Violence are blue.
Dumb shit.
Yo. Let's go to the beach. Let's go swimming. Let's go golfing.
As you can see, DJ Khaled developed a whole new catalog of wild catchphrases like "Call me asparagus" or "Gatorade" or "Roadblocks." Whatever the case is, this launched him back into virality. But I think at this point he started ignoring that advice he got early on. He was no longer screaming with the audience, but he was screaming wild, stupid catchphrases at them. And if you thought he couldn't become a bigger caricature than he was in 2016, by around 2022, there was not a single element of DJ Khaled's brand or personality that anyone could take seriously. He used to produce and actually DJ, then he started executive producing his own albums, basically just yelling over records, and at the beginning, it seemed like he was actually really the puppeteer behind creating these massive collaborations. But by now in the story, any DJ Khaled hit you heard was just him slapping his vocals onto leftover Drake songs and calling them his own. He was once a pioneer in the vlog influencer space, giving fans motivational quotes while documenting his luxury lifestyle on Snapchat. But now he was just documenting how much of a goofball he can be, and how high the bar can be raised for how fried his catchphrases could become. And I guess if the formula ain't broke, don't fix it. And once it does break, that's when you gotta pivot. Well, that's what DJ Khaled is now faced with by 2023. The war between Israel and Palestine broke out on a scale that we haven't seen in decades. Khaled, who had briefly lived in Palestine with his family and his parents being from there, and he actually allegedly still even has family there, he's arguably the biggest celebrity in Hollywood with actual connections, ancestry, and familial ties to that land. In the past, he had spoken on what it's like being a high-profile Palestinian American, saying, "It's incredible because, you know, what I represent, love, positivity, family, peace, happiness, prosperity, progress. I mean, just to be able to say that I'm an American Palestinian, that's so beautiful." But as the conflict and destructive
they literally did this whole video and didn't mention Ace Hood one time. That's
territory escalated, it became more and more strange that DJ Khaled didn't say a single word or try and offer any form of positivity around the conflict. DJ Vlad, who just like DJ Khaled is another DJ who's not actually known for DJing, he pointed out how strange it was that both Drake and DJ Khaled were silent on the issue, stating, "Has anyone noticed that the most famous Jewish person on earth, Drake, and the most famous Palestinian person on earth, DJ Khaled, haven't said Khaled no longer even being the biggest celebrity on the platform?" But Khaled had one more bullet in the chamber, a surefire plan that has worked dozens of times in the past. A Drake song. But not just one Drake throwaway. This time, he had two. In 2023, he walked Drake out at one of his shows, and DJ Khaled was holding up a sign that said, "I have two Drake songs on my next album." It would be during this same tour that Drake had announced he'd be putting out one more project, then taking a long break from music to focus on his health issues. But that he also had a couple favors and features that he needed to do that he promised some people before he takes his little break. Of course, we know Kendrick would bait him back into making music after taking a shot at both him and Drake Cole on the song Like That. And with that song, it seemed like half of the rap game immediately turned against Drake.
I study rap battles for a living.
Metro Boomin and Future hosted the project that Like That was on. Future sneak dissed him on the album. Rick Ross had a feature. So did The Weeknd and A$AP Rocky, and they were both dissing Drake. Rick Ross would eventually put out a full-fledged diss track claiming Drake ordered a cease and desist on a French Montana song that he was supposed to be on. And eventually Kendrick wins the beef, and Jay-Z and Roc Nation choose him to be the 2025 Super Bowl halftime performer, which infuriates Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne, with Nicki specifically blaming Jay-Z's hatred of Birdman and Drake as the reason why he chose Kendrick to perform Not Like Us on that stage. This was a massive dumpster fire that established itself as one of hip-hop's biggest civil wars, with Khaled's Golden Goose, the Gaveling Graham, at the center of it. And this became the second war in 1 year that DJ Khaled had somewhat of a connection to, and the second war that he refused to speak up about. Drake would go on to sue UMG, claiming that they're trying to mess up his reputation and aggressively promoting Not Like Us as a form of defamation. And you have to remember that DJ Khaled was signed under both UMG and Jay-Z, the same record label that chose Kendrick to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, and the other label that Drake is now suing. So when DJ Khaled reemerges after over a year and a half of staying silent on both wars, keeping a low profile in the hopes that the controversy of his silence on the Middle Eastern conflict would subside, he eventually announces his next project. And this time he's doubling down on the antics and the formula that has been working in the past. The album is announced in the form of this massive, high-budget movie-style trailer, a 7-minute mini film featuring massive acts like Mark Wahlberg. In the trailer, DJ Khaled is holding a briefcase that has his album files, which includes the 2 Drake songs that he's been talking about for years now. He's protecting these files with his life from the bad guys that are led by Mark Wahlberg. DJ Khaled jumps off a building to escape and rides away in a car with Anthony Ramos. At a Jamaican restaurant, Ramos turns to him, pointing a firearm and demanding the album. In the background, you start hearing a sample of this Drake song, and DJ Khaled says, "You hear that? That's God."
Tell him, you hear that? That's God.
So he's essentially calling Drake God here. He then escapes and jumps on a private jet and tells his team to send a new song to Rihanna. And the trailer ends with the announcement that his new album would be coming out in 2025. The centerpiece around the promotion of this album is the fact that there's going to be 2 Drake songs on the project. But when he posts the trailer onto Instagram, he forgot to block one person from commenting. None other than La Brianna, who left a comment under the trailer saying, "Drake songs? It must be Drake Bell." Effectively implying that he has no intention of collaborating with DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled releasing this new album on 2 record labels that Drake is going to war against. And after many artists that are close friends with DJ Khaled effectively turning on Drake, like Future, Rick Ross, Metro, and more, DJ Khaled's silence in this civil war.
That boy Khaled probably called Drake ASAP or text him like, "Hey man, what you saying? What you saying I can't drop this?" Like, fuck no, you can't drop that.
Led Drake to not want anything to do with him. And although I give a plethora of pokes at the petition Padre for his pettiness, in this situation, can you really blame Drake? Drake did what T-Pain should have a long time ago. He essentially told Khaled, "You need me to survive in this industry, but when the entire industry turns against me, you have nothing to say? You can't stand up for anything? Anybody? Even the very guy who kept your career afloat all of these years?" It took T-Pain 15 years after All I Do Is Win and all the other hits he gave DJ Khaled to finally let the world know that DJ Khaled was not a real friend to him, was not there for him when everyone turned against T-Pain. And when everyone turned against Drake, DJ Khaled showed his true colors. So instead of giving Khaled another one, with one single Instagram comment, Drake effectively shut down Khaled's entire album rollout and made it incredibly hard for him to get another hit. The climate of hip-hop today is very different from where it was even 5 years ago. The up-and-comers who were the biggest hitmakers 5 years ago, like DaBaby, Lil Baby, Roddy Ricch, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, they've either tragically lost their lives or been unable to produce a hit of their own. So who's to say they have one tucked in the stash for DJ Khaled? Meanwhile, the superstars of the previous generations like Kanye West, well, he's too much of a brand risk for someone who plays it as safe as DJ Khaled. Then you got J. Cole, who is damn near teasing retirement himself. Kendrick Lamar, who I don't really see him doing a feature with Khaled anytime soon. Maybe Travis Scott or Future, but even their stuff sometimes is hit or miss in terms of whether it'll leave an impact on the charts.
That's another one. I don't know why Travis Scott is so big.
Comeback single featured Future, and it made no noise. The key to Khaled's reliable formula was Drake. And due to Khaled's inability to pick a side or stay loyal to anything in his career, those easy, quick, cheap hits from Drake were now robbed from DJ Khaled. Drake made this even more evident when he started teasing his new album, Iceman, because in the Iceman booklet that contained the release date for the project, there was also a picture of Drake and Khaled together. Khaled holding that very same sign that I showed you guys earlier when he walked Drake out on tour in 2023, teasing that the following year in 2024, he would have 2 Drake songs on his upcoming project. We all know what happened in 2024, and we know how it was another instance of Khaled conveniently remaining neutral, watching the spectacle from afar while Drake got torn apart by the entire industry. Drake posting this picture is him clowning Khaled. It's him showing the world, hey, remember all those people who used to rely on me for hits? Remember how I was damn near the backbone for DJ Khaled's career? Well, his days of getting favors are no longer. And ironically, just like how Khaled went up in interviews speaking all positively about T-Pain, his first greatest hit maker, when T-Pain had publicly said that Khaled was a fake industry friend. Well, with Drake expressing those exact same sentiments as T-Pain, DJ Khaled gives the same type of fluffy, BS, disingenuous answers about his friendship with Drake when he's asked about them in interviews in 2026.
Exactly what to say.
Let me ask you a question. With all this beef going on that was...
I survived the Fat Joe 50 Cent beef.
That's a big beef.
Listen, Ross and 50 Cent, when they going at it. Fat Joe and 50 Cent going at it. But Joe, we gonna keep it real? I'm the one out of the crew that always says, yo, we don't need that. We need to come together. We don't need that. We need love. We need positivity. And at the same time, it's not just that. We don't want to slow up the money.
Like, what in the AI-generated slop answer is this even? He's saying, I'm the one that's always trying to keep the peace and unity and all this crap. We know that's not true, because you announced these Drake features on your album, and Drake pretended like he didn't even know that you planned on releasing them. And now you're pretending like you had no involvement in this beef. Like you guys are all brothers, and it's all sunshine and rainbows, when Drake is letting the world know he does not mess with you in the slightest. Like, what did Kendrick say? The audience is not dumb. Like, you're trying to convince the audience that you didn't use T-Pain for all these years and then drop him when he wasn't as hot, and that you guys are still friends and you love him. Now you're trying to say that you and Drake are still best friends, you still love Drake, Drake still loves you, but Drake is clowning you online, clowning you for the fact that you have no hitmaker anymore to actually sell albums. You're trying to convince the audience that you're this peaceful, positive guy who stands for unity, who brings people together on the music, through the music, but then you're tearing down Tyler, the Creator, when you don't get a #1 hit. You don't stand up for any global conflicts, even when it involves your...
And then when you speak about all those great legends that you just talked about from Drake, my brother Future Drake, who else you name?
Ross.
Those are my brothers. If you can't question my friendship. How? It's impossible. Ain't nobody like mother DJ Khaled. Joe, you know that. You know, take your glasses off. Let them see. You know that.
I super know that.
So all in all, it's looking like DJ Khaled is going to be in a tough position, to say the least. How will he get another one?
Sometimes he
Maybe
put it
it's
on
time to finally call up T-Pain.
When he started doing the vocals of Yet and Call Me This, it was just too much, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to see what this was talking about and what does DJ Khaled actually do, and we still do not know. Y'all hit the like button, I like, comment, subscribe. I'm just saying, he a DJ, he a something. He ain't a producer though. Hit the like button, man.